Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author and a depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel. In a previous video on affirmations, I explained that the most common reason that affirmations fail to work is that you say them but don't really believe them. There are beliefs stored in your subconscious mind that directly contradict or go against the affirmation. Oftentimes, these beliefs come from childhood programming and early conditioning that you might have even forgotten. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple yet powerful technique that you can use to uproot these negative subconscious beliefs, bring them to the light of day, and release them. In a previous video on affirmations, I talked about using affirmations to build self-esteem. So let's say you want to do that now, and you use the one made famous by the great boxer Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest. Now you're going to use the affirmation, I am the greatest, but the problem is inside you don't believe you really are. In fact, you think you might be a real loser. So this is how the conversation might go. You start with the affirmation, I am the greatest, and the first thing your mind says is, no, you're not. You say it again, I am the greatest, and then the mind says, you can't do anything right. You say it the third time, I am the greatest, and the mind says, in fact, you're a real loser. So you can see one thing, your conscious mind is saying one thing, but this other voice, this negative subconscious voice, is telling you just the opposite. Here's another example, and by the way, I didn't just make this up. I spent from about 1988 to 1995, about 7 years traveling around the country doing workshops on affirmations. And I was amazed to see people who claimed that their affirmations were really working. In fact, they weren't. And when I actually tried to get them to use them in the workshops, this is the stuff that came up. So a lot of these examples are from real life situations. So let's try this one on prosperity. I deserve to be prosperous, the person says. But then the childhood conditioning comes back and says, money is the root of all evil. Again, the person says, I deserve to be prosperous. The voice says, money will corrupt you. A third time, the person says, I deserve to be prosperous. The voice says, you can't hold on to any money. You have no financial management skills. So again, you're saying one thing, but this negative voice is contradicting and sabotaging what you're saying. Now, what makes this process so insidious is you might not even know what's happening. You might not even be aware of what's going on. You just say the affirmation and it just doesn't feel congruent. You just feel the sense of, I don't really believe it. I just can't get behind it, but you don't even know why. So what we're going to do now is teach you a very simple process that I call the Affirmation Dialog technique. I write about it in my book, Words That Heal, and in my book, Listening to Your Inner Voice. And this will help you get these subconscious beliefs into the light of day, look at them, and then you can let them go. So now I'd like to share with you this technique. I call it the Affirmation Dialog process. You're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to divide it into two columns. The left-hand column is going to say affirmation. The right-hand column is going to say what comes up. You should be seeing this on your screen right now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your affirmation, whatever it is. In this case, we're going to use one called I'm successfully running my own business. You're going to write it in the left-hand column and then pause. And whatever comes up and pops up into your brain, you're going to write it in the right-hand column. It's like free association. You're going to repeat this over and over 5 or 6 times. And every time you write down the affirmation, pause, hear what comes up, and write it in the right-hand column. And what you're going to have is a list of all of the reasons why you can't have your affirmation. And we'll tell you what to do with it in just a minute. So I'm going to give you an example of how that worked with a woman who I worked with when she wanted to open up her own business and become an entrepreneur. So now I'm going to show you how it works with this woman who I work with named Mary. Her affirmation was, I'm successfully running my own business. The first thing that comes up is, I can't do it. She read it a second time. Actually, didn't read it. She wrote it down because you're writing this down on the piece of paper. I'm successfully running my own business. What comes up is, it's too much work. The third time she wrote it down, I'm successfully running my own business. What came up was, you need to be working at a 9-to-5 job. The fourth time she writes it, I'm successfully running my own business. What comes up is, there's not enough money in it. She tries again. I am successfully running my own business. You need to do something that provides more financial security. Again, I am successfully running my own business. What does the voice say? No one in your family is an entrepreneur. As you can see, Mary now has a list of all the negative beliefs that tell her she can't run her own business. But fortunately, the process does not end there. If she keeps it up, if she keeps writing her affirmation, what's going to happen is those negative beliefs are going to exhaust themselves, and then they're going to be replaced by all the reasons she can run her own business. Let's see what happened. I'm successfully running my own business. And what came up for her was, I have excellent taste in clothing. I'm successfully running my own business. I know other people who own their own businesses and I can consult with them. I'm successfully running my own business. If they can do it, so can I. I'm successfully running my own business. With God, all things are possible. I am successfully running my own business. I know I can succeed. Now we're getting somewhere. You can see that Mary's negative beliefs are being replaced by positive attitudes that will draw to her the good that she desires. To summarize the process, you're going to divide a piece of paper into 2 columns. On the left-hand side, you're going to write affirmation. On the right-hand side, you're going to write what comes up. Then you're going to start writing your affirmation over and over again in the left-hand column. And as you do so, the beliefs in the right-hand column, any beliefs that are contradicting that affirmation will come up and be brought to the light of day. Eventually, they will exhaust themselves to be replaced by positive words and thoughts and ideas. If that doesn't happen, I'll be giving you a new technique to contradict and to counter those thoughts. In the meantime, in about 80 to 90% of the time, this will work, and you will successfully uproot those negative beliefs and be on your way to a successful affirmation. This has been Douglas Bloch. I hope you've enjoyed this video and gotten something from it. If you want to learn more about my work, click on the links in the closing credits. You can go to my website, healingfromdepression.com, or subscribe to this channel. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in affirming good things for your life. Thank you.